Yes. What's up, everybody? Um, hey, eh, it's Thursday morning, right? April 7th. My name is CB, and I just got off work. I don't know what's going on this morning. Hey, but look, it's that time. It's 6:38. Um, I don't know. I got off a little bit later than I normally do, so I had to hurry in and rush to get set up. Throw my customary post up on Instagram and get this show on the road. Like it's 6:38 already, 6:39. So I'm losing time, as they say. It's all good though, cause this basically just me checking in with you know the people, saying what's up, giving a few thoughts for the day, and then I'm out. I ain't about to take up a whole lot of your time with nothing because I know you got stuff to do, and I'm not here to take up your time. I'm here to you know say my piece and bounce. So it's Thursday. Everybody getting geared up for the weekend. Unless you work on the weekends, but you still got to get geared up for it. Uh, Tonight is going down to the Maxwell concert. We're gonna see who in the house. Uh, might might sneak some footage in. You know how it go these days. It used to be you could do the concert footage, but now it's like I'm gonna sneak a little bit of the footage in. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, just gonna go and enjoy the show and see what see what that late '90s R&B sound like these days. I'm all for it. Um, Not a whole lot moving from what I could tell. That's why I need y'all to check in with me, let me know what's cracking, cause I ain't always able to catch it all. It's just a few things that popped up, and uh, it's just business as usual for the most part. I know that Ukraine is still begging for NATO's help, and NATO is really like they riding that fence to the utmost. It's kind of funny how you're supposed to be protectors of the free world and all this kind of stuff, but it's not that simple. They definitely got to go through a lot of red tape even to function. So uh, don't know how that's gonna work out, and don't really know how that's gonna affect us either over here. What's going on over there, and we still haven't had like full involvement or our troops on the ground in Ukraine, and I don't know if that's ever gonna happen because of the politics of it, more or less. But they still dragging it on in the news. So I guess that means I gotta speak on it. I really don't. It's other things that can get spoke on, other things that need to be talked about besides the bullshit war. Um, but I'm just running through the things in my mind that that come up. Like it ain't no. Real thing. So I do want to talk about Snowfall real quick since I did get a chance to catch it. Uh, if you ain't seen Snowfall for this week yet, then you might want to skip over this part or whatever, because I am gonna probably spoil a couple of things just because of the nature of the episode. Just me mentioning these things is enough to spoil it. So I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to cut me off before I continue. Well, all right then. So this episode really, kind of focused on the wedding, and it has some other things going on that will probably have impact as we move into the finale. This was episode 8. It's usually 10 episodes, and since they just got signed to do the 6th and final season, then these episodes have even more impact because of the fact that this is leading into the last finale before the final season. And so they gotta have to set up some real tricky suspense to make sure people come back next year and watch the final season. Now this is we pick up pretty much where we ended off last episode with everybody kind of just thinking about what's done went down so far. Everybody's little, trying to regroup and get back to business as usual. Lou went to go see Teddy and let her know that she's trying to do business directly with him, leaving Franklin kind of out on the cold on their deal a little bit. I mean, however you want to look at it, it's like tomato at this point, because he giving up so much just to stay working with them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Louis feel like they can grow if they doing it directly with him. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds. I didn't actually finish the episode, so it may have unfolded later on in the show. But I did want to talk about that one thing, and then also the wedding, because of the way the wedding was done. It was like a fever dream in a way. I won't say who did it, but if you know, you know. Kind of like spiked the punch, so to speak, and had everybody acting a fool, especially Franklin, or at least they were showing some of the things that was going on in his mind. And I think that gave like a new dynamic to what we usually see. Now I think they've done a couple of dream sequences before on Snowfall, but this was not quite a dream sequence. It was surreal, but it was still based in reality. So seeing that, seeing Leon open up to some new ideas, in line with what he's been thinking on anyway, was good to see. So overall, Snowfall always bring the heat as far as I'm concerned. And so I'm looking forward to seeing these last 2 episodes of the season. Anybody that got any shows, movies, anything that they want to talk about on I Just Got Off Work show, just hit me up. And you know the story. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send me an email at therudeeducator@gmail.com. I will reply to all correspondence expeditiously. Is that how you say that? Expeditiously. And in honest fashion. So make sure you definitely hit me up. Let me know what's going on in your world so that we can talk about it and get some things straight. This is the I Just Got Off Work show on WETF. I'm your host, CB, aka The Rude Educator. What else we got this morning? So, uh, there was an article that I brushed by, and I didn't get a chance to read it, but the headline is what we often talk about these days anyway. The headline was talking about integration, and if integration was something that helped or was it something that hurt the economics of the black community. I think the stance that was stated was that it was more hurtful than helpful. And in some ways, I can see where that's coming from because when you look at where the dollar goes, so I did watch this documentary on Black Wall Street. Okay, Black Wall Street is what it refers to the Greenwood District, Business District, and Tulsa. Is it Tulsa? Yeah, Oklahoma. Um, and that was present in the 1920s and was then destroyed by some very controversial means. Now, if you're a person that's been under the rock for I don't know how long, or maybe you like me, you don't really fuck with people like that. But that documentary about Greenwood did open up some things, or it does tell some interesting stories about some things. See, one of the reasons that the black community in Tulsa was able to build up such a strong economic base was the fact that they couldn't spend their money in a lot of the white stores. They weren't really welcome on that side of town. So if you go someplace and you're not really welcome there, you're probably not gonna go back. And then if in your community exists some of those same types of businesses, you're definitely going to go to the one that's in your community. Now, that doesn't mean that all those businesses are black, right? But if you're so racist, you don't even want to open up a business in my community. Well, you know what? That's actually cool because now I know where you stand and I can shop with people that got, my best interests at heart. Or, at least concerned with them so much. Somewhat. Now, so that brings back to the point of the headline of, integration being something that's harmful to economic independence. And I gotta say that, it does make it more difficult to keep things, centralized when you got people spread out all over the place in the name of, better, what have you. I never really agreed with that idea anyway, that by rubbing elbows, rubbing shoulders, whatever you want to call it, with this other class, that somehow, makes your situation fine. Because it's really more about the synergy of the people that you're around, more so than, the fact that, well, if they let me into their clubs, then they have to recognize my greatness. Nah. And I think that's the thing that's been found out anyway, is that even though they allow us access to some of these things, the treatment is still not the same. And when people find that out, um, I think they get a little disheartened. But at the same time, reality's hitting them, letting them know that you can put all the dressing on it that you like. Racism is still racism. And if you keeping me out, if you really intent on keeping me out, you're going to keep me out even when you let me in. If you see what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what kind of title you get, position, none of that. What matters is how does that, translate into acceptance? How does that translate into my chance is just as good as yours when the work is the same? You understand what I'm saying? It's not, it's not about getting in there and, what I'm saying, being seen in there. That kind of tokenism has been found out. So when you talk about meaningful ideas being implemented, then you're talking about, really making efforts to provide for opportunity within a certain community. A lot of times when, and my guy, Wild Style, he really, get deep into the gentrification thing. And it's gentrification is basically I come in and beautify where you are, and I'm making it better for everybody. But then you realize they're not trying to make it better for everybody. They're just trying to make a place for themselves, and they could care less if you in or out. And oh yeah, to be in, you gotta, shell out 4 or 5 times what you was doing before, just in your property tax. That's not your house can be owned, but your property tax goes up. You can no longer afford to live in your house that was supposed to be a legacy from your ancestors. You see how this is a hard conversation to have because it gets emotional. It gets a little personal for me, and I don't remember ever seeing it in person because of where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you do see is the development of other outside communities, and then the black hole or the void that's left in your own. You know, it's interesting because in Indiana, one of the most conservative states in the country, I lived in 2 different cities in Indiana for, a reasonable amount of time, and that's Gary, because I was born and raised there, in Indianapolis, because I made a life here with my family. And the way that gentrification, or I should say urban development, or the way that the scene has developed over the years in both Northwest Indiana, up by Gary, and then Central Indiana, here in Indianapolis, is much, much different. Because and this is also to the point of segregation, integration, helping, hurting. Because in Gary, you do have, at least in the city of Gary, for the longest time anyway, it was always a majority black. Now that was during the time that I lived there, which is from my birth until about 14 years ago. So when you have that kind of environment where there's nothing coming in, only things leaving, there's a different type of atmosphere, a feeling in a place like that than it is in a place where, like it is here, where there's constantly things coming in, being changed in a good way. I should quote that in a good way because while it's good for a lot of people, it's not so good for the people that are being displaced because of it. It's really a double-edged sword. And so you look at what goes on with that, you know, the kind of homelessness it causes. It causes just people being out of their element. You can even call it a loss of culture because in some places they preserving different monuments, places that actually landmarks and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that are not being preserved, and so it's some of those things that cause you to really lose the culture of a place because let's say it's just like, okay, if you're from Gary, you know about when you go into the valley, they got the crucifix up. And what's up, right? Uh, they got the crucifix up right when you drive into the valley. And that's like a landmark. Anybody that's ever been over there know about that cross. So when you have something like that and then it gets pushed out of the way in the name of development and the name of improvement, then you lose something. You lose something out of what made that neighborhood special. And I think that's one of the things that makes it such a detrimental thing because the culture of those neighborhoods is what makes people who they are, what they are, and gives them a sense of purpose when they live in their life. And you can't underestimate, what that means in a person's development because people so focused on developing resources, they forget about the people, which that's the whole point of the whole thing in the beginning. Anyway, I will sit and talk about stuff like that all day. But we got to move on to the next thing. And the next thing, since my man Ryan's in the house right now, we could talk about the NBA situation. The Lakers are out. And if you like me and you got Laker fans in your family, friends that are Laker fans, you really want a reason to talk shit to them until next year. And them not making the playoffs at all is one of the best things that can happen. The Lakers Haters Club has gun power for the next 6 months. And that's pretty awesome. Now, if your team did make the playoffs, let's hope they go deep into the playoffs and don't get put out early because that's ammo to talk shit about your team. And if your team did not make the playoffs, again, if your team did not make the playoffs, then you can't talk to anybody. You guys gotta shut your mouth and take whatever comes your way because better luck next year. And I'm saying all this because, as you know, I talked about it yesterday, the Bulls are in. The Bulls are ranked at number 6 right now, so they'll be playing in the number 6 seed. It's not looking good for us. It's not looking good, but I got faith in my guys. So hopefully we can pull something off and get a couple of wins and maybe even make it to the second round or so and show people that we real. But other than that, it's going to be an interesting playoff season. Hey, it is 7:04. I am CB, a.k.a. The Root Educator. This is WETF, and I am on the I Just Got Off Work show. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send emails to therooteducator@gmail.com with comments, suggestions for topics. If you want to work with the I Just Got Off Work show, let me know. We can make something happen. I'm going to take a small little break, give me some water, and I'll be right back. Y'all listen to some tunes. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so that water trip, that water trip was fruitless because nobody went and got water. So I don't think I have any water in the house right now. It's kind of messed up because I'm a thirsty dude, and if I don't have no water, then my mouth gets all dry, and I can't talk as much as I want to, and that's tragic because that's all I want to do is talk to you, say what's up, see what's on your mind, see if we can get a conversation going back and forth. That's it. Nothing special. Mad disappointed right now. But look, this is gonna be one of those days where I don't talk too long because yeah, I'm tired. And I just got off work and I got a big day to go through with the concert and everything. So I'm gonna say peace in a minute, but before I go, you know I can't just say goodbye. I gotta do or say or mention something to send you off on a good note. So today, what I think I want to leave you with is a song. Now, this is one of those songs that I'm making up as I sing it. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that, but I gotta let you know up front what's going on. So check it out. I think I need. Nah, we're gonna do an acapella. We're gonna do an acapella. All right. It's 7:09 a.m. I wonder if I can get some pancakes. I wonder if I can get some handshakes. I wonder if I take it to the limit, take it to the limit. Will I know? Hey, it's Crackhead City around here right now. Hey, it's your boy CB, aka the Rude Educator. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send me an email at therudeeducator@gmail.com. Leave your comment under the video below. Make sure you go check out that merch store. We got some of the flyest merch you've ever seen in your life. So make sure you cop you some. Yeah, I said enough for today. We're gonna bring it back tomorrow. I'll be talking about the concert. I'll be talking about a couple other things when I'm not so tired. But I will holler at y'all at another time. Make sure you peep the outro.